Alright, it's Monday, 27th of June. June is almost over. We're halfway through this year already. It was really gone by quick. I'm just leaving a property right now. I'm going to another one. This one is really close to the office, so I didn't bother to try to turn the recorder on before I came here because we're minutes from there. So I was able to make a few recordings last week. I was able to get them processed and posted, and it's something I hadn't done for a while. I just had a stretch of a bad number of weeks. Not sure what happened, how or why. Just know I wasn't happy, wasn't enjoying anything, did not feel like talking about it, and kind of withdrew from pretty much everything that I was involved in, and just had to take a step back and kind of assess what I had going on, and I talked about that in the last couple of recordings. But so after that last few days worth of illness, I had a minor fever, had some severe stomach problems. It was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But just like any other kind of illness I've ever experienced, I always feel like it's for a purpose. Because no matter how miserable I am, it actually seems to be better the worse off it is. The worse I feel, the better I feel once I start to feel better. It's just a simple matter of perception and perspective. The worse you feel, the better you're going to feel when you recover and get back to your normal self. But it always seems to me like it's a transitional period during any of those illnesses for whatever reason when they pop up, which isn't very often, but I've always just determined that it was a direct physical reaction to some type of change, some kind of metamorphosis, and there's no rhyme or reason to how often they will happen in your life. When they happen, they happen. And I thought it was odd that I had two so close together. That anyway, bottom line is, once I cleared that last one, I felt a lot better, and not just better than what I felt like when I was sick. I felt like I had transitioned out of that funk that I was in for weeks, and it's something to do with my cycle. I'm sure it was absolutely necessary to go through that period of really self-doubt and really kind of down and out, and just really didn't feel like I had the energy or the will to do anything, and was really just ready to be done with all of it. And it was just a really dark period, and again, I made it through, and when I rebounded and when I came back, I've been slowly trying to get back into the patterns that I had prior to that, the patterns that I actively pursue to maintain my health and increase my quality of life. And one of them was really putting the house back in order, putting the house back to its normal state, because we kind of had things up. It's kind of a mess with the guests that we had, having a party at the house, and all the work that was done. And we were just finishing up the work as people were starting to show up, so a week's worth of home improvements and a couple of weekends of just leisurely doing that. I definitely took a step back. It was during that 4 or 5 week period was go, 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 go. Plus I was sick during part of that, so it was go, go, go while I was sick. And again, it was just a rough number of weeks, and slowly transitioning, putting everything back into its place, and being able to take some time to appreciate some of the work that we did to the house, which was nice. So it's been a relaxing couple of weekends. We haven't really pushed any limits or done anything. We talked about getting out and doing some type of adventure, which we were on a regular pattern of doing something like that on the weekends prior to trying to get our house ready for company. And it's good. I've basically gotten everything to where it should be. I've been able to sit back and relax and enjoy our home. I've been wanting to get back into some type of exercise cycle, and part of getting into that was getting the garage back in order, because it's also serves as our workshop and tool storage area. So I got that all cleaned up a couple weeks ago, but just hadn't been able to make that first step, which admittedly is the hardest. That first workout of getting back in the cycle. You're kind of looking forward to it because you know you don't need to do much to get some benefit out of it, because you basically lost all of your conditioning, or I did. That's relevant to me personally. I'm sure everybody else will experience things like that in a similar fashion, but maybe not to that extreme. But it's just, I needed that symbolic first workout to get back on the horse, and was able to do that yesterday. And much like every other first workout after a period of being off, it was kind of uncomfortable, made me physically not feel very good. And you're working through things and pumping things through your body, and so feel a little tired today. Haven't done that. It was just my typical first workout deal, where it's just a couple sets on each muscle group, and some light aerobic exercise, some stretching, just to, like I said, get slowly try and make some movements and progress towards getting back onto a regular cycle. So I feel good having done it, but a lot of times when I do that, my physical reaction to all that is just usually, it's not very good, and I feel like I'm kind of off or out of it, or not, just a little bit stiff, a little bit sore, feel a little bit queasy, and it's all part of what I experienced, what I expected. So but again, things sitting on my desk, Post-its and keys and reminders to do this and paperwork that needed to be filed that I was procrastinating on. And I finally sorted through all of it and cleared my desk. My desk is clear, and I gotta say that coming in today on a Monday when I would normally be, I mean, that's the most stressful day of the week for me to come into work. It always has been, Mondays. Coming in and seeing that desk clear had a huge impact on my approach for the day. I also came in knowing that I was caught up. I monitored my emails all weekend, and there was nothing critical waiting for me. And even some of the stuff that I would normally term critical, I have been viewing in a different light. I have not been allowing it to consume me. So these are all things that I've changed, that I've done in the last week, that have actually made my job, I wouldn't go so far as to say pleasurable, but I've basically taken all of the stress out of it. All of my anxiety has been removed. And that's not to say that something might come up that may cause me some anxiety, some stress, some bad mood. But I feel good about everything, and I don't feel like I need to run out the door screaming because it's going to destroy me, which is exactly where I was about 3 weeks ago. And I honestly didn't know if I was going to survive. Part of it was the job, and part of it was just where I was at and other things. And now I've adjusted my work mindset. I've been working on adjusting my out of work mindset and trying to pursue pleasure, pursue happiness. And that actually came up in my mind over the weekend several times, because I always talk about the pursuit of happiness, the attempt to increase your quality of life and create more joy and pleasure. So I'm constantly in that focus, that mindset of pursue. You have to pursue it. You have to do something. But you can pursue and pursue and pursue and pursue and pursue, and never get anywhere. It's possible because I've done it. You actually have to achieve that pursuit. And that's where my mind was this weekend. I was really kind of locked into that concept. Not just pursuing happiness, but achieving happiness. And again, it was just a very casual weekend. I did not put any pressure on myself to make anything happen. The weather was kind of iffy. It was clouded up. There was chances of rain and thunderstorms. We got a little bit here and there. So it was hard to really plan anything that was going to be outdoorsy, which is what I was really hoping to do. And I just allowed myself to be, and I allowed myself to enjoy what I was doing every step of the way. And it was good. It was a really beneficial weekend for me, and I feel like I've definitely made some steps towards increasing my quality of life and rebounding from that period that I had just gone through. And I'm seeing life with a new hope, and that I don't need to run from my circumstances right now. I definitely want to make changes and move forward and increase my achievements and reach my potential, but I don't feel like I've got that pressure on top of me now that I have to do it now. I know that I just have that feeling now that I've got time again, which is, that feeling comes and goes. There's always going to be ups and downs in that cycle where you feel more pressure to make a steps in my personal life and in my working life that have